Hello everyone, my name is Justin, and I'm a small church musician. I'm on a journey to find the best sounding equipment for my budget, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this latest episode of the Small Church Musicians Podcast. Guys, we have an absolutely spectacular episode planned for the day, and this is a part 2. This is my first ever part 2 episode. It's a follow-up to the first episode I ever put out where I talk about my favorite overdrive pedal ever, the JHS Morning Glory. When I was putting that episode together, I realized that I've had so many different overdrives throughout my career as a worship leader, and I even mentioned this in the episode, that I want to talk more about them. I want to give you guys an opportunity to hear some different overdrives that I've used throughout my time as a worship leader. They all have different uses. They all sound absolutely fantastic, and I love each of them for different reasons, and they really do have some really unique qualities to each one. This episode is all about trying to demo just a couple of seconds of each one so you can get a quick little vibe for each one. I'm going to talk about the price point and the different controls on each one just briefly. I'm not going to do a super deep dive like I did on the Morning Glory. And this is just to give you just a general overview of these 5 overdrives from 5 very different companies. They're all fantastic in their own way, and I highly recommend each one. I just want to add a quick little disclaimer. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, and I highly recommend them, though. These are just my opinions based on my use of these 5 different overdrives. So let's get started. So before I get started, let me give you a quick overview of how this episode is going to work. I'm going to demo, as I said, these 5 different overdrives from 5 different companies, all at 5 different price points, which gives us a really good overview of the different kinds of sound quality you can get from different companies and different effects. I just want to quickly go over my signal chain. I'm going to be plugging in my PRS McCarty, my dream guitar, one I've wanted since I first saw David Crowder Band play at Creation Fest many years ago. I'm playing that through the overdrive pedal, whichever one I'm going to be demoing at the time, directly into my Ruby 63 top boost amplifier by Universal Audio. There's no reverb, there's no delay, there's none of that added in. I'm running the Ruby directly into my Scarlett Focusrite recording interface, and that's going directly into Audacity, which is on my laptop. It's a very simple signal chain, and the only other thing I have to note is I'm going to try to play the same riff. It's going to be the intro guitar part to What a Friend by Matt Mayer, just so we can have a very similar guitar pattern, so you can hear the sonic frequencies between pedals. I might add in a little bit of a lead guitar part if the idea occurs to me. And that's really it. So let's get started. The first overdrive we're going to talk about today is actually the first electric guitar pedal that I ever bought with my own money. It's the Boss SD1 Super Overdrive. You can't see the one I have in front of me, but this is the one that I bought when I first really got into electric guitar and I really started taking it seriously. It's pitted. It has old duct tape on it from where I tried to mark settings that I liked growing up. I do not know if those settings are still relevant to my adult musical brain at this point. But here's the thing. It still sounds really, really good. It's really reliable, as are all of Boss's products. And this thing is just super, super simple. It has a volume control, it has a drive control, and a tone control. There's literally nothing else you need to do to it. Fun fact, mine's also missing the little rubber band style grommet that would keep the screw from eating through the metal. Mine has seen better days, but it still works great. And sounds fantastic. Here we go. Oh man, it still sounds as good as I remember. And my favorite thing about this pedal is that it's incredibly inexpensive. You can buy these brand new, out of the box, $59 US. I don't even remember what I got mine for because it was already beat up when I got it, but I think it was like $25. So if you're looking for a super simple, super great quality overdrive pedal, definitely look into the Boss SD1 Super Overdrive. It's as simple as it gets. It's just an on-off switch, 3 controls, and there's nothing else you really need for it. So the second pedal we're going to look at today, I've got to start out by making a confession. I'm a huge fan of Brad Paisley. I think he's one of the best guitar players of all time, and I think he's certainly one of the best out there today. And we're going to be taking a brief look at the Paisley Drive Deluxe. Fun fact, this was my go-to overdrive before I got my Morning Glory. And I still love using this thing. But it's not just the Paisley Drive, because that is a separate pedal you can get. You can just get the baseline Paisley Drive by Wampler. Great pedal in of itself. This one is actually a 2-stage overdrive. It has the Paisley Drive on the one side. The other side is the Wampler Underdog circuit, which is another discontinued overdrive that Brad really liked. So he asked them if they could combine it with his and create the Paisley Drive Deluxe. And that's what we have here. The Paisley Drive is basically laid out the exact same way as a Super Overdrive, but it's got a little bit more of a mid-scoop to it. That's what I found in my use of it anyway. It's got a level control, a gain control, and a tone control, just like you'd see on the SD1. On the Underdog side, it's got a bass, middle, and treble EQ, in addition to your gain control and your level control. What's really cool is you can run one into the other, or vice versa. You can switch the order in which one pedal flows into the other with a simple little mini toggle, which is also on the pedal. I've gotten so much use out of this thing over the years as both my first and second stage overdrive. But once I came across the Morning Glory, I switched over to that, and I haven't looked back. But I do love using this thing, and I do have a lot of sentimental value. So I'll start out on the Paisley Drive, and then I'll play the same riff on the Underdog, just so you can hear it, and then I'll play a Brad Paisley inspired riff on this one, or you know what? Not even an inspired riff. I'll play a Brad Paisley riff for you, so you can hear it with both sides of the overdrive on. Check it out. Oh my goodness. Guys, I gotta be honest with you. I forgot how much I love using the Paisley Deluxe. This thing is just one of my genuine favorite overdrives ever. I would love to use this thing more. And I forgot how good the Underdog sounds when you stack one into the other. This pedal is absolutely astounding. And if you can pick one up, it's totally worth every single penny. To get them on the used market, they're about $131 and $259 new. So they're about middle of the road. They're not as high as something like you'd get from a Strymon or something like that, but there's a lot of really good value here, especially if you're looking for a 2-stage overdrive. I know this was one that I relied on for a very, very long time, as I said. Before I go any farther and before I get on to the next pedal, if you hear the little bit of a whine in the background, I apologize for that. I forgot to bring my noise gate, but I'm just going to push through and get this out because I'm really excited to keep going with you all. Let's move on to our next pedal, shall we? The third pedal we're going to take a look at today actually has a place on my main Sunday morning worship pedal board. This is my second stage overdrive that I use all the time. This is genuinely a fantastic pedal, especially at its price point. We're going to be talking about the Walrus Audio Voyager. This thing is just such a great pedal. I do plan on doing a full discussion and review on it at some point, but in short, my thoughts on it are very simple. I love this pedal. I'll typically kick it on after the Morning Glory to make a song feel absolutely huge, or I'll use it as my second level of drive, or if I really want a different kind of drive, I'll bring the gain up just a little bit, and it really complements itself well for that use. I love how simple it is. The control out is, again, identical to that of the Boss SD1. I love the 3 control knobs and then just an on-off switch, and that's really all you need. That's what I found are my favorite kind of overdrives are when they have just those 3 controls. I do like the Underdog circuit on the Paisley Drive Deluxe, as I've mentioned, but I think I prefer as a guitar player, I think I prefer just the 3 control knobs, and that's really all you need. No digital, none of that stuff. Here's the Voyager. Wow, what a difference that makes. So listening to that after having played through the Paisley Drive Deluxe, you really hear the tonal differences between the 2 different pedals. I really do prefer the Voyager, I think, for the style of worship that I play. And I really do love how simple the controls are. The price point for this thing is also completely ridiculous in a good way. To buy the Voyager on the used market, It's about $80, which is a fantastic price. They're about $219 new, and Walrus does make really, really great equipment, and this is a pedal I highly, highly recommend. Just a quick little fun fact about this pedal, though. I recently found out this was the primary overdrive for Ren Collective's Art of Celebration tour they did a number of years ago now. And you can probably find this pretty inexpensive on the used market, and it sounds incredibly good, as you've heard. And it's my second stage overdrive. It's a go-to, and this is one that's always going to be on my board. So yeah, definitely check it out, and let's move on to the next one. Now, before I start talking about this next pedal, I do have to specify that a lot of my thoughts on it are weighed heavily by a combination of sentimentalism, nostalgia, and star power. For my 26th or 27th birthday, it was a number of years ago now, my dad surprised me with this, the Full Tone Full Drive 2. This is the non-MOFSET version, and this was my first higher-end pedal. It sounds so good, and my honest thoughts about this pedal are that this is really, really, really firm, transparent overdrive. This is the kind of thing that really lets your guitar's natural tone come through without really distorting your tone. I'm really, really impressed with it in that sense. And I did 2 clips of it. I cranked the boost on it, and it really doesn't make a huge boost difference. I'd recommend adding another stage of overdrive if you want a really big boost in your audio. Check it out. Wow, I'm really impressed with the Full Drive too. Specifically, I love its transparency. This thing really has let my guitar's natural tone shine through, and I've got the drive cranked about 4 o'clock. So it's not a small amount of overdrive I've got on right now, but it's really letting it's really showcasing what transparent style overdrive is all about. And the boost doesn't make a huge difference. So again, as I said, I imagine kicking on a second layer of overdrive will make that big difference that you're looking for. These are collector's items at this point, but they can really vary in price. There's been some controversy with Full Drive, which I'm not going to get into, or Full Tone, I should say, the company that makes them, which I'm not going to get into in this show at all. But you can get them on the used market for between $82 is the lowest I've seen them, and about $300. But your average is around $120, which isn't too bad for somebody looking for their first big time overdrive, their first their first professional style higher end pedal. Just something to keep in mind. The last overdrive that we're going to take a look at today is one I only became aware of a few months ago. It's the Matthews Effects The Architect. If you haven't heard of Matthews Effects, they're one to watch moving forward as a company. Every pedal I've tried out from them has been absolutely incredible, and I plan on doing a full episode where I talk about just Matthews Effects and some of my favorites that I've tried out so far. I'm really, really impressed with this pedal because, like I said, it's both the first and second stage overdrive as you need it to be. It has a boost circuit in it as well. 2 separate foot switches on a single, I guess the best word for it is a single footprint pedal. My only negative thought with this is it's a little hard to get to the second pedal because of its placement, but that's just a me thing. I have big feet. I can't really help that. But yeah, here's The Architect. Wow. I know I've said this a lot for each of the pedals and for different reasons, but I'm still really, really impressed with The Architect. This thing has served me very, very well, and I've used it a number of times. And I use it on my grab and go pedal board when I can't bring my full size pedal board. I'll typically put this on there, and that's where I think this thing is most at home. It's great for those of us that have limited pedal board space because it's about the size of a Morning Glory. It's standard pedal size. It's not the size of a double pedal with 2 different foot switches. Matthews Effects put both the overdrive activation switch and the boost switch on the face of the pedal. They did put the boost pedal switch in a slightly awkward position, so it's a little hard to tap when you're on stage leading worship. But apart from that, I'm really, really impressed with this thing overall. I love that it has a full mid, bass, and treble EQ in addition to the pedal's overall output, boost, and gain controls. I'm incredibly impressed with it. Also, the other thing to really think about is the price point for this thing. This is where I think it really shines. It's relatively affordable. You can get them on the used market for between $92 and $182 on the new end. $92 being the used price. And that really is what makes the thing special, is how affordable it is and how good it sounds and how much versatility is crammed into one little package. Definitely worth your time and your money if you're looking into a pedal like this. So there you are. Those are 5 of my favorite overdrives that I've owned and utilized in worship throughout my time as a worship leader. There are so many more that I want to talk about, but I haven't owned them yet. Like, I'd love to talk about the OCD drive, and that's just one of the many I want to do. But if you want to see more content like this, let me know. This was really, really fun, and I got a lot out of this, and I hope you did too. But these are just 5 of the multitudes of overdrives that exist, and I hope I've demonstrated to you all that each of them has unique sonic characteristics and some really distinct differences. Which overdrive that I demoed here was your favorite? Should I do another episode like this in the future? Did I not mention your favorite overdrive? Tell me all about your experiences with different drive pedals, because I want to hear about them. My prayer is that this episode was informative and helpful to each and every one of you. Remember, my goal for this show is that it become a resource for everyone, but especially to my fellow worship leaders and specifically for my fellow small church-based worship leaders. While we're all dealing with a unique set of challenges, you need to know that you're not alone on the journey that you're walking. God has called each and every one of us to lead worship, and that's an awesome and humbling responsibility. So please, please know that you have friends, allies, and resources on this road that you're walking. You can help us out here by hitting the like button, sharing this on any form of social media, or if you feel called, subscribing and following Small Church Musician for more content like this. Hey there, I'm Justin. I'm a small church musician, and I'll see you next time. Bye.